Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. I've got some breaking news to share with you. A lot has gone on within the community recently, from Ashley Chadwick, the cousin, speaking out against the petition and highlighting other key points, and even key members like Justin Roice supposedly being suspended from the family-run Facebook page. A lot of people are confused, a fair few are angry. What is going on? We're going to try and make sense of it today. I'm going to analyse, we're going to look at comments, we're going to look at the backstory and everything. But first, what I will do is play to you the video or a portion of it, credit to Ashley Chadwick from TikTok, where she speaks out in terms of the petition and all of that. It's quite shocking and eye-opening for some people, so prepare yourself and make sure to stick around till the end of this video to learn about Justin Roi's situation. Without further ado, let's begin.
One being, and starting off with, is the petition. With the petition, we as family were not asked or notified about it, any of the such, when it all first started. We kind of learned about it through like people sharing on Facebook. And if people were reading it in its entirety, you would notice that it has said that they're wanting this to get brought back to the Jefferson County and having Jefferson County take over the social hosting and charging the party host for serving alcohol to minors. So when it comes to that specific charge, that is a one charge. It is not for each individual minor or underage drinking, whichever. So basically, if this was to follow through, they wouldn't even be in jail for very long. The party host has retained an attorney, and if it's a good attorney, they would act swiftly. So you're looking at maybe just merely hours in jail, if anything. So basically, it'd be just a slap on the hand. So what would that mean moving forward? Not really anything. It would just be, okay, so got it done, it's over with. That's pretty much it. So we don't condone in this. This isn't something that it's a no. Like, it's just a no. We all have not signed it. We have not pressed it. We have not pushed this because we don't agree with it. So there's that.
So that was quite interesting what Ashley had to say about the situation. Now, there was more to it, but if you want to watch the full video, feel free to do so either on the Justice page, it's available there, or Ashley's TikTok. But I did make key notes in regards to what else she said, so we'll get to that shortly. But I want to know your thoughts. You know, are you shocked by what was said by Ashley? Ashley, with the language being used, was we this, we that, speaking on behalf of other family members. Now, are all family members on board in line with one another? What about Noah's father, Victor? You don't really hear his name coming up much. You've heard of Robyn Smith, you've heard of the sister, Madison Rawlings, that's the correct name, the cousin, the brother, Dalen Presgrove. So you get an idea of who is who, but is everyone on the same line? From what Ashley says, yes. Let me know what you think down below. Furthermore, just very quickly, just want to add in, welcome to anyone that is catching up, watching this live premiere. Share your reactions in the live chat box if you want, on the right-hand side of the screen, chat box. And for anyone throughout this video, or by the end of watching, let me know your overall thoughts and feelings about the situation. Has it been misunderstood, or is it justified? Leave your comments down below under this video. You'll also find a pinned comment by me with some additional links if you do want to support this channel. And top right corner of the screen where the I symbol is, you want to catch up on videos from last night, the night before, about this case. You've not been notified, don't worry. You click on that I symbol, you will find all the videos there, including the complete playlist, right? So let's refer back to what Ashley had to say and focus in more so about the petition. So one of the first things that stood out to me was Ashley mentioned how she and they, as the family, were not told about the petition, but they ended up finding out about it online through other people and pages. Now, should the family have known from the very beginning? I guess there was no harm to do that. Now, me personally, I don't know who set up the petition in the first place. If I can find it, we'll get to it later. But really, what the petition was about, if people weren't quite clear, is to do the social hosting rules laws in which they were broken. You had a fully grown adult of the right age to drink alcohol who bought and then ended up serving it at a party, the party house, with quite a few underage people. Now, those people range from 15 to 16, 18, 19, but nevertheless, under 21s and drinking, you're not supposed to be doing that. You can get in trouble. Now, who's the one that more so gets in trouble? The host at the party, the individual that distributed it out to underage people. They should know better. Now, Ashley never referred to the actual person's name, but the host, the party girl, basically Avery Combs. And there's quite a few people out there that have a strong opinion that believe themselves that Avery is responsible for Noah's death. Now, do I think like that? Well, I actually did a video talking about it. If you'd like to check it out, feel free to do so. You'll see it on my channel. But just in brief, it was a mechanic, it was a component, a catalyst, maybe a turning point which played a role in terms of the alcohol, the theme of it, and how it linked with certain events being under the influence of alcohol. It was very strong, the link to be made. Putting oneself in a vulnerable situation, being in a vulnerable environment, depending the timing of events, and the reactions, the emotional responses from people under the influence of alcohol. There are many components to the general theme of alcohol. You look to the origins of where it came from and who it was distributed by, you can go from there. As said, you need to check my previous video out on my channel where it goes more into that, okay? But that aside, Ashley didn't refer to Avery Combs' name within a TikTok video. She just said the host or the individual of the party. Now, why is that? Is that for legal reasons? Is it to respect the privacy? Is it because Ashley gets on well with Avery and the friends in the background as a family? Who knows? Not everyone will be seen eye to eye. I think Victor, in the early days, Victor Presgrove, wasn't exactly having a positive outlook towards those from the party, or at least some of which, feeling that there was a form of foul play, darkness happening. So it's interesting to highlight that side, because not everybody is, defending Avery. I mean, quite a few are against Avery, but that's the general public. As for the Presgrove family, they've not been as strongly opinionated on certain things. Maybe they focus more on Jack than they have with other people. So it's worth taking that into consideration. Nevertheless, this petition has been signed by so many people, whether that be locals or those further afar wanting change, in which, in hopes of, if it was approved of, then justice could be served. Avery supposedly punished for 5 years or so. I think that's why it was stated as, for breaking those social host laws. But what would it lead to then? What's the general aim? Well, I guess the people signing and creating the petition they feel that Avery is responsible for the whole death situation, or at least part of it themselves. So they think by getting justice that way, it's a start and it could open up other leads and avenues. But from Ashley's response, and supposedly what the other family members think as well, it's pointless. Now, Ashley did say that we all have not signed it, we don't condone it, we have not pushed it, we have not spread awareness for that petition. So basically, Ashley, maybe Dalen, Robyn Smith supposedly, and some others, maybe Madison Rawlings as well, the sister, supposedly don't agree with Avery being punished. You could interpret it like that. And I'm being very careful with speaking because there could be a big misunderstanding behind this and some could be jumping the gun. So that's why I'm laying it out all now. So there could be two ways of looking at it. That Ashley and the Presgrove family believe it's not worth signing it, it's not worth condoning or pushing it because the end outcome isn't significant and it doesn't lead to true justice, based off what Ashley said, that even if it did go through, that because Avery has an attorney and supposedly a good one, well, actually, Ashley said if she did have a good one. So Ashley isn't too confident there with that language used, but on the basis that if there was a good attorney, that basically Avery would have a slap on the wrist and supposedly, once again, get away with stuff, despite being in trouble for doing something bad. And then maybe that's Ashley's mindset behind it all. What's the point? Yeah, we could get a petition, we could hope and pray for justice in that way, but in the end, Avery slips away once again. So what's the point going through all that false hope then? Maybe that's what Ashley meant by not signing it and the others, and not condoning it. But if you didn't see it that way, what's another way of looking at it? Does Ashley, Robyn Smith and others believe that Avery is 100% innocent within the case? Or do they at least believe that the alcohol isn't the main problem for Noah's death, that take away alcohol, Noah would have died anyway, right? Because if alcohol is the main problem and the main factor, you got to look back to where it came from and who it was distributed by, and that was Avery from the looks of it, how the story has gone. So they would hold a bit of responsibility, and maybe to some people, a lot of responsibility. Is there a level of conflict of interest? Is there a level of biasness or whatnot? I don't know the full history or background of people, but if anyone does know, feel free to fill in the blanks down below. Does any of the Noah Presgrove family are close friends with Avery Combs, the party girl, birthday girl at the time? Anyone close in that way that they're trying to protect Avery, or they feel like she could do no wrong, or it's not her fault, it's unfortunate the outcome? Could it be that Ashley Chadwick believes that alcohol, so what, underage people, so what, we've all done it? This is just speaking subconsciously in a scenario, don't twist the words, that in that case, well, alcohol, party, young people having fun, some couldn't control themselves, something bad happened, is what it is, but it's not Avery's fault, so there's no point doing a petition to get justice to punish her because she's not responsible. You get what I'm saying? There's different ways of looking at it. Ashley didn't make it exactly clear as to why she doesn't condone it. If it's all to do simply because of the justice not being successful and Avery being released immediately within a few hours or so of getting apprehended by police, if that was the main reason to why they haven't signed it, okay, fair enough, but the primary reason wasn't exactly explained, so you can look at it other ways. I want to know which way you see it. Leave your comments down below. Do you think Ashley and the family are protecting Avery because they genuinely believe that she's innocent, or could there be a bit of conflict of interest biasness? Or do you simply think that Ashley and the rest do believe that there could be some responsibility and problems behind the party host, but in terms of the outcome, it's not worth going through it because the petition won't work, so there's no point getting the hopes up? Which way do you look at it? Dodgy or understandable? Let me know. Now, to refer back to not knowing about it, I mean, does anyone think that those that created the petition or signed it, shouldn't they have told the family about it first of all to seek approval? Would you even have to do that? I'm just thinking, when it came to the Dylan Rounds case, there were petitions there when it came to, you know, handing the case over from LE to another police department or whatever, because the current LE box elder were making a complete mess of everything. Some thought they were corrupt and much worse. So the family were approving of that. Now, did they create the petition? I don't think they did, but it was shared about on the main page. In this case, with Noah Presgrove family didn't know about it. If they were told about it from the start, would they have approved of it so then the petition could have gone through? And if so, would it have been more likely for them to have signed it at the time? Makes you think. Anyway, that's basically it for that. The next few points that were added on within her TikTok video, which wasn't shown just because, you know, copyright, and if you want to watch the full clip, you can go over there. Ashley said about when it comes to developments, when it comes to the FBI, they are assisting at the moment in terms of answering questions, and that's it. But if they were to, you know, really physically step on in, that will only be because of significant developments, which requires the FBI's assistance directly. That hasn't happened yet. Doesn't sound too good. With what's been talked about in the background and movement and getting closer to the truth, on the surface, how Ashley presents herself and what's been said, and Robyn from Partners in True Crime, it's really not going anywhere. Nothing big, nothing much going on, unless they're just saying that to play it down because what they do know of they can't reveal publicly. So there's that, maybe to reduce the heat levels so people don't keep badgering on. Say, there's nothing to see here, but actually there is in the background. Try and compare that within the Dylan Brown's case and community. There was a long period of silence where not much was actually happening, but there was stuff going on in the background. And Candice Cooley kind of hinted at that. She said, well, we can't talk about it yet. In the future, if possible, we can and we will. So, you know, there's a bit of communication there, a bit better. Whereas here, I mean, providing it's honest, and hopefully it's honest from what some of the family members say, no big developments, not much happening at this moment. So there's that. Next thing, Ashley says about be careful with other pages. That information and talk about this and that, which comes from anywhere else, is probably not true. But when it comes to our page, Justice for Noah Presgrove, the family-run one, moderated as well by family, that is the truth. So you could argue and say that's indirectly throwing shade towards other Facebook pages out there. I mean, one obvious one would be the Sofa Sleuth group, wouldn't it? With what's been said there. So the opposition, those within the case, whether it be party goers or family of family, friends of friends that are engaging within that. Okay. But you could also highlight with what Ashley is talking about, be careful about other pages. Well, what about Noah Presgrove's Army? The kind of like informal page, which isn't moderated by family, but a bit more open for discussion, a little bit more freedom of speech, right? So it's a bit more malleable. And at one point early on, more and more people could reach out, even if it was the opposition, but you got to see it for yourself and witness the behavioural changes of individuals and what they've had to say and what they supposedly claim. So it was good to see as an observation. Now that's changed with time. The page became private up to a certain point. I think it might still be private now, hence why I do these videos. So then you get to see it for yourself. And we'll be getting to that later when we look at Justin Roy. As said, you don't want to go anywhere. If you have joined late in this live premiere, be sure to rewind back because you don't want to miss anything. So in terms of the other pages, Ashley doesn't seem to have a positive outlook towards. Now, when you say pages, you think of Facebook, but what about Reddit? Maybe Ashley is highlighting that area too. You never know. I believe Ashley said that she's not a part of any other Facebook page, any other pages out there. Is that exactly true? Could have been a time or a point where she was a member of a page, just listening in or trying to help out with the truth, set the record straight, and then ended up leaving because it got too much. I don't know there. But if anyone does remember Ashley being on other pages, feel free to explain it down below. Now, in terms of the anniversary coming up, Ashley said that we're basically not doing anything September 4th. Now, in terms of how that's worded, you could say, oh, that doesn't sound good. You're just not going to do anything. You're not going to care. You're not going to honour Noah. You're just going to completely forget and move on because you've got work, you've got responsibilities. Some people could misinterpret it that way. But basically what Ashley was getting at there was because it's going to be a sad time, because the case hasn't been solved yet, the justice hasn't, no closure, still quite raw, and being reminded of the day itself can be impactful too, and everyone reacts differently. But they'll probably honour or reflect on Noah in some way. Maybe it's like a little post, maybe they get together or so, maybe they visit the highway, whatever, privately in the background, that can happen. With the Dylan Rounds case, what happened there when it came to the first anniversary? There was some messages, positivity, reflection of Dylan's legacy on the main page by the family, by the mother, and even Justin, resharing old photos, all that type of stuff, what you would get. But it also followed up with kind of like a semi-formal East Idaho News interview between Nate Eaton, Candice Cooley, Justin Rounds, where they were basically reflecting on everything that's happened, but adding in some additional details which we never heard before. Very interesting and quite important. Will the same happen here? Not from the looks of it with what Ashley says. Seems pretty flat, but they'll probably do something privately in the background, which would be a normal thing. Was there anything else to really acknowledge? I guess just the language and maybe the body language of Ashley. Confident in what they say. There was some pauses in between and yeah and like that. Maybe that's just normal. I've not seen enough interviews or videos of Ashley speaking, so it could be normal. But like when talking about more so the petition situation and the outcome with Avery, Ashley supposedly knows what the outcome would be with Avery if she did get in trouble for the social host rules being broken. But at the same time, the language, the wording wasn't said with absolute confidence or certainty. There's been other people out there, members of the general public, that have said, Avery should be punished, Avery's responsible, and if found guilty or so, then they'll be done for 5 years or so. Seems to be a bit of confidence there. How does Ashley know more? That if Avery did get in trouble, it's not worthwhile because it's just a slap on the wrist. How does Ashley know about that? I mean, does anyone else agree with Ashley about it being a slap on the wrist? That's all that would happen to Avery. So what's the point? Let me know your thoughts down below. So yeah, that's what happened. What we need to go on to now is the comment section, the responses, replies, such as Justin Roy before he did get suspended. Let's head on over there right now. Here we are on the Justice page. Now, I did have quite a hard time in trying to get the screen size correct because Facebook being dodgy, that's why I've got the aspect ratio as I do. So hopefully you can see the comments down below. In any particular order, we'll just keep it as it is. So Nancy says, Ashley, do you have any idea which group we can get on to read the truth? I'm following this one and the Noah Presgrove's Army page. I did sign that petition, but I didn't read all the way, I guess, so I'm so sorry for that. I just wish to help Noah and his family and his true friends. As for a response, Robyn Smith says, this group is the only one that is moderated by Noah's family. Robyn Smith, a part of Presgrove's Noah's family. The end. Lisa Middleton says, I signed it as well and now feel bad about it. I posted it on my page and will remove it right away. So people suddenly feeling guilty all of a sudden just because some of the family members say that they don't condone it and they've not signed it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like differing opinions. You shouldn't have to feel bad about yourself because you signed it. I mean, if the petition actually harmed the case and the family were upset by it, then maybe you could feel bad about what you've done. But, if you signed it because you genuinely believe it can serve justice and it can help, then you shouldn't feel bad about the situation. But maybe people differ. Penny says, yeah, me too. I apologize for doing that. So Robyn Smith is basically saying that Noah's family, who moderates this group, Justice for Noah Presgrove, is the go-to place for the truth. And Ashley indirectly saying that maybe Presgrove's Army page isn't about the truth. What else do we have? Stephanie Bacon, seen them on Presgrove's Army page. Stephanie says, lots of people are also wrapping trees and red ribbons for him. I'm going to release memory lanterns Wednesday. Okay. Cindy, I didn't sign it, but every day I pray for justice. Shauna, my heart goes out to you guys. There's positive messages there. Feel better soon. Okay, and here we go. This is where it gets important. 22 hours ago, Justin Roy says, so, is the party house on Indian land? And if so, couldn't the FBI come in to search the house? Has the house been searched at all yet over this last year? So this is just like a simple question, wanting to know the truth. Was it the right post to leave a comment on? No. People don't seem to agree though. When we get to the responses, we've got to load them all up because there's a lot. Kristen Smith says to Justin Roy, why, just why do you keep on? Why are you asking questions you know the answers to? Is that Sam? Why do you keep stirring the pot when you've been asked to not? Especially with this weekend coming up and September 4th, they're dealing with enough. You're not family. Please, for the love of God, listen to the family and step back. So in a way, although Justin Roy may not be family to Noah by blood, in terms of, I guess, like a level of closeness in a way, Justin is familiar with Noah because of the past. Just one of Justin Roy's sons who was with Noah when it came to wrestling and things like that, hanging out, all positive and good. So to say Justin Roy is nothing to Noah, you could say is a bit of an insult in a way. As for Kristen's comment about the timing of asking for this and that, demanding answers, maybe it's not the correct post to comment about because it's not exactly relevant to what's been said in the video by Ashley. Maybe if it was said on a different post, might have been a different reception. I'm just basing it off like the outcomes. You know, you want the best outcome. You try and find the best timing to ask, inquire about things. But it's interesting how Kristen says, you know, why are you asking questions to the stuff you know answers to? I'm personally unaware, right? Because there will be other people out there that may be asking about, has the area been searched, yes or no? Did the police do a thorough check, yes or no? And if they're not from the area, they're not in on the case, they're not going to know. But does Justin Roy know? I wouldn't know. There's a lot of that, isn't there? Anyway, who knows, what knows, whatever. Just in response to Kristen saying, stirring the pot, the family posted the FBI was involved, not me. And no, it was never confirmed if the land was Indian land or not. Just was curious if that's why it was never searched, because it was Indian land. Ashley literally said, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. That's exactly what I did. Fair enough. No need to be malicious over the legit question, and I never claimed to be the family. So, we're already getting conflicts. People not too happy with Justin. Chris says, not being malicious, just letting you know. They've asked you several times, along with others, to please stop and step back, and you don't listen. Is that so? Once again, I'm new to this. I don't remember hearing about it. Who else has been told to step back? Have people said that towards Donna Bond? Have people said that towards Dusty Butler? I'm just thinking of like key named individuals that have been quite vocal, like admins and stuff elsewhere. I know Donna isn't, but you know, along the theme of being vocal, talking about the case, wanting answers and questioning things. I mean, will it get to the point where Warlight Raff is ordered to step back, to step down from the case? Who knows? Now, just as a heads up, when it came to the Dylan Rounds case, not once did anyone tell me to step down, you know, any official people, any family members. That never happened. And I did question a lot of people in the case. And you could say that could have triggered people. It could have triggered the family, but it seemed okay. And from those connected with the family, they passed on, you know, the information to me and said, you know what, Warlight Raff, the family, the mother, appreciates your coverage, Raff. You do a good job. They like the videos, all fine and good, right? So that was positive to see. As for all the other creators and the other people and audience members, they weren't acknowledged the same way. They were actually either called out for being disruptive or causing trouble and damaging the case or harassing the family. So really speaks volume that. So at least for me, I have a 100% positive feedback when it comes to, you know, whether it be the family or friends of friends within a case in which one of their loved ones has been hurt, harmed, gone missing, mystery, whatever, true crime or not, and positive feedback has been given back to me in terms of coverage. I don't expect positive feedback. I don't expect reactions or responses. I just hope that with the coverage that I do, it doesn't lead to any negative outcomes, right? You're trying to spread awareness, trying to make sense of the case, but also provide viewers, audience members, from like a narration based or edutainment, educational entertainment, just to learn along the way, because it is serious stuff, this, but people will find it interesting besides having that emotional connection. People come and watch for many reasons. So if you can get that balance there, but you can also get the approval maybe at times of key people in the case, then it's a win-win in a positive direction. At least up to now with me covering this, it's been okay. Like Alicia Lee, although not linked with Noah, not a part of that family. Alicia Lee, the mother to Caden Pressey, a party and a friend to Noah, key individuals still within the case. They kind of appreciate or at least neutrally acknowledge the coverage here. So that's fine. That's all good. I just wanted to give you a bit of a backstory in the background as to what's, happened, such as in the past with other cases. Anyway, Justin Roy responds saying, So again, Ashley stated if you had any questions, post them. I posted a legit question that I do not have an answer to. And to step back from getting the truth and justice for Noah, that's literally all I've done for 12 months now, and your comment was malicious intent. It's fully noted. I will not post here again. I see where this is going, so I apologise for the way you feel about me. Tiffany says to Kristen, well, let's be clear here. Ashley is a cousin and Robyn is an aunt. So they're extended family of Noah, not immediate family. And you would think that they would appreciate anyone willing to put in the work to put pressure on Ellie to solve the case. Justin Roy may not be in front of a camera every week like Robyn and Ashley, but he still has been fighting diligently for Noah, and this is the thanks he gets. Ooh, interesting. They wouldn't have been able to hire a private investigator like Kathy Bingham if it weren't for Justin. I know, because I'm the one who gave them $8,000 to do so through Justin. I've never heard from anyone saying thank you except from Justin, but I did get kicked out of the Justice page and blocked from it because I said Kathy Bingham was a con artist, which she is, but thankfully not what my money was spent on. So again, you'd think they would appreciate those that have helped them the most rather than berating them and cussing them out for it. And for the record, no, I've never been expecting or wanting a thank you from them, but I definitely also wasn't expecting to be treated like I was either. But I'm sure this will be deleted by Ashley Chadwick. Well, it's a good thing I've documented it right now before things do disappear. So, Tiffany Shepherd has said that she gave $8,000 passed on to Justin Roy, and that was passed on to hire a private investigator, but supposedly that money wasn't spent on Kathy Bingham, it was spent on another private investigator. Because as we know, Kathy Bingham is doing it free of charge, no money. So you could say that's a positive. Well, of course, it's a big positive if a private investigator steps in and doesn't charge any money. But is there a but as to why? Is there a catch why they're doing what they're doing, Kathy Bingham? Well, people have said that Kathy Bingham is like part of the family of Brylan Sweat. Brylan Sweat being a party goer, could Kathy Bingham have a conflict of interest in which whatever she finds out about the case, she's probably going to be more lenient towards Brylan if it's family related? And if anything negative was found on Brylan Sweat, let's just say, Kathy Bingham might not acknowledge it the same way as she would with people who are out of the family, other partygoers, strangers to them, right? And from what Tiffany says here, Tiffany says Kathy Bingham is a con artist. Now, we saw that in the past, not from my words, but it's almost based off this theme and people's perception of private investigators, some of which, it's like a complete carbon copy of the Dylan Rounds case all over again, where you've got the family, the want help, reach out to the general public, and then at some point they may push them away, and it's like, well, you reached out to us, now you're pushing us away. Then the general public get a bit hissy-pissy, fight back, arguing back and forth, those within, others outsiders, some locals stepping on in, causing a bit of trouble, drama. And more so at the start in the Dylan Rounds case compared to here, a private investigator steps in. But not everybody sees eye to eye with that private investigator, ends up getting sacked, thrown aside, cease and desist or so. And then that person has a bad taste and a grudge with the family for many years on, and went after him, harassed him, and attacked other people. And the general public, those from the past and the present at the time, were calling out that private investigator, calling him a con artist. Now, we don't need to go into any specific names, only because it could cause unnecessary trouble and unrest once again. But if for whatever reason there is unrest after this video, I know exactly why, because there is a little or a couple of informants watching this video ready to scuttle back to their daddy or master and pass it on. And that would be most unfortunate, because this is supposed to be a cancer-free area. But we'll see what happens with time. So hopefully people that are watching right now are on good behaviour, and maybe those from the past as well. Because if not, I'll be very disappointed. Anyway, to return back to here, is anyone shocked by this? Is it actually true that this person gave $8,000, passed it on in hopes of hiring a private investigator? Fair portion of money as well. Now, I'm guessing Tiffany Shepherd isn't linked to the family, isn't linked to any party goers, but wanted to help out. I mean, you've had Jan Friorillo in the background wanting to help out too, in terms of trying to strike a deal with those within a case, first come, first serve, legal fees paid for, in hopes of getting someone to come out with new information, leads to get justice. So, not coming from my mouth, but you could say that the general public, some would argue and say how some members of the general public have actually put in more effort and given a lot more than what some of the family members, not the immediate ones, but the others, have given to Noah Presgrove's case. I said, that's not coming from my mouth, but that's what other people would say. That's all I'm saying, okay? Don't start twisting words there. Because, saying something like that could definitely trigger people in the case, couldn't it? Now, in terms of my thoughts about the whole situation, in terms of how other people have been treated, like Tiffany on this page, I'm not fully aware of, because I don't really participate on this page. I don't really look on it that much, right? So I don't know how people have been treated, who's been blocked, who's been kicked in the past, whose comments have been deleted. I've heard about the family running it and it being quite strict and moderated, but that was more so silencing the dark forces, the Stevie Howards, the Sarah Longs, and any others in between. But if it's just members of the general public who are also feeling attacked by the presence of the moderation being strict, kind of interesting. But why is Kathy Bingham supposedly a con artist? Is there any proof of that? Has it happened in the past? Do they have a history? Can anyone elaborate on that? Let's see what else is being said. Stephanie says to Tiffany, "This is the justice page you're commenting on. How are you blocked? Just curious." I mean, in the moment, that's a fair point to make. If you're truly blocked, you wouldn't be able to comment in the moment. It's kind of like the YouTube situation over time, where people kept getting into a hysterical fit saying, "Wall Raf, why have you blocked me? Why are you ignoring me? Why can't I see anything?" And it's like, calm down, piss pot. I can see you comment. Everyone else can see you comment. It's just that not everyone gives you the time of day to, cater to your needs and your demands. I've seen it where just because I've not responded back to a specific person for a period of time, it's like, "Well, Raf, I demand an answer. I demand you respond to me. I demand you say hi and how are you every single day of the week and month and year." And it's like, there's a lot of people watching with time. And as an individual creator, naturally, the bigger a channel gets, the harder it is to maintain that communication with every viewer. It's natural, but I guess some people feel more entitled than others. And I saw that in the Dylan Rounds case. So they just assumed that because they're not being responded to, because they feel ignored, they must be blocked. No, that's not the case. right? So I think in this situation, what Tiffany was saying was in the past being blocked and then maybe unblocked. So that's why she can comment at the moment. Kelly Pounds says to Justin, actually, she said the FBI was aware of the case and were on standby to assist, and that if anything significant was to happen, then they would step in. Yeah, well, I know about that. I've heard about it previously. But at some point in the past, on a podcast of all places, a podcast stated that the FBI have stepped on in. That wasn't the case. So there's a bit of misinformation there. Tiffany says to Kelly, but on 2 separate podcasts, they said very clearly that they were involved. There we go. Yes, I heard it myself. Assisting as well. The FBI is always on standby for every single LE department across the country. Yeah, they may be actively aware of Noah's case specifically, but at this point, how could they not be with as much attention as the case has gotten? I mean, when it comes to the Dylan Rounds case, the FBI did step on in, I think in 2022, a few months later. And to be honest, that case, I don't know if it was as big as the Noah Presgrove one or it was similar in levels, but it's quite surprising here how it's not happened yet, and it's gone on much longer this with the absence of the FBI compared to the Dylan Rounds case. That definitely speaks volume. Kelly says to Tiffany, have no idea, just basing it off what the video just clarified, but it's been said elsewhere. Oh, what do we have here? Robyn Smith, the aunt, says, Tiffany, I'm sorry you feel that we aren't grateful enough to you for donating $8,000 to the private investigator fund. We were originally told it was an anonymous donation and weren't aware of who it came from until you decided we weren't grateful enough for it. If you like, we would be happy to refund through GoFundMe the $8,000. Wow. Seeing as there are apparently strings attached to your support. And as for Justin, we have always expressed that his heart is in the right place, but we have asked him numerous times to tone it down and to stop with throwing shit at the wall and seeing if it sticks, which has fallen on deaf ears. We as a family are obviously not the only ones who see this and feel this way, as there have been numerous supporters that have expressed the same concerns. If you have any other opinions about the way we conduct ourselves or the way we have handled any support or information that has come our way, please kindly keep it to yourself, as we are not here to please you, nor anyone else for that matter. We are here because my nephew, Ash's cousin, Maddie, and Dalen's brother, Nana's grandson, Casey, and Victor's child is dead due to the actions or inactions of others. That, first and foremost, is what we care about, and you getting your feelings hurt is not a top priority for us. So, you can understand it from both sides. If certain family members have wanted certain wishes to be respected, can you please step back? Can you please cool off a bit? Sometimes, or most of the time, you should listen to it and respect it. Now, I've not been in that situation, so what I've done has been under control and done well, so that's positive to see. But obviously, Justin Roy has been there from day one, I think, been very vocal, wanting answers, reaching out, figuring out ways to get answers, like messaging Jack Newton, and it's been very vital there in getting that 4 a.m. timestamp. So Justin has done a very good job in terms of how he, acts and how he responds. Mostly very positive, helpful. I've not seen anything negative within Justin Roy, so I can't give a complete analysis, and that's just being balanced. If I went all in, that could make me biased, right? So all I can say is, from my limited experience, Justin Roy has been a very good individual and positive. But in the eyes of Robyn Smith, the aunt, has said that Justin is a good person, but he needs to step back at times, and he fails to do so, from what Robyn is saying here, and they're not too pleased with that. So that's interesting. Now, when it came to the Dylan Rounds case, Candice Cooley more so, were telling people to step back, to not search, to not go out there. The general public saw that as a big F-U to the public, because whilst the family were pushing people away, it was the family in the first place that reached out to the general public for help, for a voice, for support, this and that. You could argue and say as a counterpoint that's the same here with the Noah Presgrove case. So it's understandable why some people could get defensive and think, how could you say that, Robyn Smith? How could you say that, Ashley? You know, you kind of reached out to us, you know, this platform, wanting a voice, awareness, posters, leaflets, whatever, you know, things like that. And now it's not good enough, or we don't care. So I said, I understand it from both sides and perspectives. Maybe we do a conclusion at a later point, but I want to know your thoughts here. Are you surprised by this? I mean, the way Robyn was saying that, we didn't know at the time because it was anonymous donation. Well, if that's the case, that's understandable. But the bit about, once we made aware that you decided that you were going to reveal yourself because we didn't think we were grateful enough for what you've done, well, you can have your money back just like that. So it's kind of like a counterpoint, like a little jab here and there. Interesting. Bit of an atmosphere with what's going on and the language and wording. Interesting. There's a lot to look at here. Now, there is a photo, a screenshot. What does this say? Justin Roy copy. June 3rd. I sent to Ashley too. I'm definitely going to get in anything on here. But you do realise that over 6k from GoFundMe account came from our group, right? Our group being Noah Presgrove's army page, not the family one. And Justin says, and I didn't hear anything about that. May have missed it, but I personally had a friend donate $5,000. Just something to think about. Right. But that was in June. Okay, so what's the context behind this? No name given at the time. Robyn Smith provides some receipts. $100, $25, $10, $20, anonymous $5,000. So just a quick question. If this is who it is, because it seems to link that the family couldn't give a shout out, or, you know, not the immediate family, but likes of Ashley and Robyn couldn't give a shout out to the specific person who gave the great amount of money, because at the time it was seen as anonymous, as you see on screen here. And when Justin Roy said his friend gave the money, it was about 5,000, which ties in here. So at least on the surface, it appears true with what Robyn is saying, how at the time it was an anonymous donation, so we didn't know who the person's name was, so we couldn't be grateful in the sense of reaching out to that person, thanking them, shaking the hand, really nice of you. You can't do that if the person's anonymous. You can't do anything unless the anonymous person reaches out in the background and says, hey, that was me, and then you respond back saying, oh, thank you, very nice. But you can't do that until the person speaks out. And now they finally have. So I can understand why the family or certain family members, Robyn Smith, the aunt, is limited to what they can say and do on the basis that they don't know who gave the money at the time. So I do understand that. Was there anything else to... Yeah, so Tiffany Shepherd, supposedly an anonymous donator in the past. So they wouldn't have known it was you that gave the money. So that's understandable. But how much money did Tiffany say she gave? Where was it? 8k? Yeah, I am the one that gave $8,000. So why does Tiffany say $8,000, but in the screenshot, as example, it says 5,000? And then with what Justin says, 6,000. How come we can't get the actual figures correct? Justin Roy says... $6,000 was handed on over to do with the GoFundMe account where it came from our group. $6,000 came on over. The actual person that gave the money is saying that they gave $8,000. And as for this point of view, it's only 5,000. So what? 5,000, 6,000, 8,000? I don't understand. Unless that the person at the time, anonymous 5,000, more was given afterwards or before, and it just collected like accumulative, maybe. Maybe the 8,000 wasn't given in one go, but 5,000 or 6,000 was, and then the rest was given separately as a donation. Possibility, maybe. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because this is like a microcosm of the case itself at hand, that different stories come out. That date, that time, no, it's changed to 2. No, it's changed to 4. Now it's changed to 5, to 6. It's like the money here. Oh, I gave 8,000. But Justin Roy says, that 6,000 was handed on over, and Robyn says 5,000 was handed on over. There's different figures. So it appears that there is missing money unless it was given at different times and not in one go. That would make sense. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to come across all this in the moment. Some want justice. Cindy says, sorry for your family. Okay, yeah. Kristen, in quotes, and not in quotes, in capital letters. And this is not in a joking way. This is because it's in capital letters, which means that they're probably shouting and they're quite passionate in what they say. So let me make this realistic to relay what Kristen's getting at here. I absolutely want justice. I knew him personally, and so did my son. So that's interesting. Okay, you can understand why Kristen would be defensive if she knew Noah personally. That's quite interesting, that. But shouldn't Kristen be more understanding towards Justin Roy when Justin Roy personally knew Noah as well, and so did his son? So Kristen and Justin are kind of in the same boat as for how they know Noah, but each other don't see eye to eye, or at least Kristen doesn't agree with Justin. So that's unfortunate there. Lauren says to Robyn, I'm truly sorry if anything I have posted has hurt you or in any way. I've followed Noah's case for months now. I'm just looking in. I don't live there like a lot of people here, but please know we want nothing more than to get justice. I myself have donated and bought shirts to help you all in every way I could and will continue to do so. I feel Noah's case has gotten this nation's attention because there's so many on the pages. On the pages, more than one. Interesting. People should realise that and not bash one another. All should be appreciated. But as we've seen, Ashley doesn't seem to appreciate the other pages in a way because of certain information and stuff being talked about elsewhere. Probably not true. Indirectly, how she says, right? Anyway, Robyn says, no girl, you're fine. I'm just frustrated that an anonymous donation seems to give this lady the right to reach out to me twice to throw it in my face because she didn't like something one of us said or did. If you're going to threaten, just do it. Pull the donation. Wow. I mean, maybe the simplest thing would have been the person that gave the $8,000 supposedly anonymously should have just sent a private DM message to Robyn Smith and said, hey, that donation, that was me, and that's the proof of it, etc. And then it could have been acknowledged and resolved. I mean, I remember in the past when I did a YouTube live stream and someone gave me 99 cents, 0.99 cents. And because I didn't acknowledge it in time, they went on a mass hysterical run of complaining, went silent, ran away, started speaking about me behind my back, and it got out of proportion. It was resolved in the end. They apologised. But still, 0.99 cent. And because I didn't thank them for their, little super chat sticker, because what ended up happening was I didn't acknowledge it at the time because the live chat disappears off screen on YouTube. When I do live streams, it disappears off the screen. There's nothing I can do about it. So with all of the messages and stuff coming up, sometimes I miss things. I don't see it all. And then another person reminded me, hey, that person gave a super chat, and then reminded me 3 times. And then I eventually remembered and I said, thank you, very good of you, much appreciated. Then I had to do a 45-minute video after that explaining myself to the individual because they couldn't understand and they just denied it all. I didn't acknowledge it in the moment, but I did acknowledge it 10 minutes later. So I still acknowledged it, but because they didn't get in their time frame window, but they felt insulted by it. 0.99 cent. Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the value of money. If people are willing to give, that's obviously very positive and good of them. But people need to understand that when it comes to responding and acknowledging, one tries to do the best they can, and if they are a bit slow in acknowledging, the other person shouldn't get really defensive in the moment. Kind of like in the Noah Presgrove case, how if you got an anonymous donation, yes, you can be very thankful and grateful, but you can't exactly say, oh, thank you, insert name, and maybe even reach out in the background and send positive messages. You can't do that if you don't know the person's name. And if the anonymous person doesn't reach out either, then what can you do? So, you got to meet in the middle. Unless that did happen in the background, but I don't see that mentioned here. Anyway, what else do we have here? Dakota, Couldn't agree more, but Justin has been on it for a while. He asked a simple question. I don't see how he was stirring the pot. Obviously, everyone is emotional right now, but if an important question is asked, let it be answered, not bashed. Now, Ashley responds back saying, has been here since day one. Who's been here since day one? Her son had a real relationship with Noah. Speaking about emotions, man, people have no idea. They're behind the scene, things that have been going on, pure chaos and hell. Just because it's not for everyone to see doesn't mean it's not going on. There's a reason for being told to step back, not just by family, but LE and investigators. Right, so who is who? Who's Ashley referring to here about someone's been here since day one, her son had a real relationship with Noah? Is that to do with the individual further up on screen that was having a go at Justin or so? I mean, how Ashley words it here, saying her son had a real relationship with Noah, ... unlike Justin Roy's son. That's how it comes across. That might not be the case, but you can infer from it that way. And then speaking about emotions, man, what's that all about? That behind the scenes, chaos, hell. There's a reason why a person was told to step back, not just by family, but the police and investigators. So Ashley Chadwick indirectly is saying that Justin Roy wasn't just asked by family multiple times to step back, but the police and investigators. Why is that? What has Justin Roy done bad to warrant being told to step away from the case or to cool off? I mean, is it because Justin Roy physically has been out there? Or is it just the online aspect, the presence online? I mean, I can understand the more hands-on you are with a case and the closer you get to the truth, and if somehow you do get a hold of sensitive information and start posting it public, that could warrant a negative reaction from those within the case. It's like, oh, you're getting a bit too close there, you need to cool off. But, you know, as for Justin Roy, at least what I've seen only when it comes to Facebook, it's been posts, it's been questions, it's been reposting, resharing ideas, my videos, it's been positive. But Ashley is implying here in the background, privately, negative things have gone on. What, with Justin Roy? That's how it comes across. Now, Ashley isn't mentioning direct names here, just like how in the TikTok video. But it's kind of obvious as to who she's referring to. So it is very interesting, this, but also shocking at the same time. Is it diverting attention away from Noah Presgrove's case? No, it's a part of the case in the community. It appears that people aren't seeing eye to eye in the moment. Could the senses be very tense and heighten the emotions at this moment because of what's coming up, the anniversary? Maybe things may settle down, cool off, and it might be resolved afterwards. But in the moment, a lot is going on. Patricia, and done so on social media. Dakota says, I completely understand. I didn't mean to step on any toes or anything or upset anyone. Just keep your strength. Right. Amanda says, Tiffany Shepherd, I'm sorry, but once your money was donated, it was no longer yours. What the family chooses to do with what is now their money is completely up to them. They didn't ask you to donate. You made the choice to be a generous person, which was very kind of you. And now I kindly ask for you to also be a gracious giver. You know, at the end of the day, you'd be kind enough to give. And like how this, you know, the saying of, you know, if you're going to give, you're going to do this, do that, don't expect anything back. But it'd be nice to receive acknowledgement back at times. But that only comes down to if it's obvious, you know, who gave the money in the first place. If it's an anonymous one, there's nothing you can do about it. Does that make sense? It's like if a person gave a super chat on my channel and they were anonymous, let's just say their username was anonymous. Yeah, I could say, oh, shout out to Anonymous for their super chat. But I'm not actually personally mentioning their name because they haven't provided it or they haven't got a unique username. So if they end up saying, oh my God, why are you not acknowledging me? I would have to respond and say, well, you got a default profile, you got an anonymous literal name. What more can I do? But like, you know, in the background, when it comes to PayPal, for example, down below in the comment section where you see my pinned comment, there is a PayPal link there if you do want to support this channel. Sometimes I try and give shout outs indirectly. Okay, and I just want to make it very important right now for anybody watching right now, in the moment, for those that may have supported the channel and beyond, maybe in the future. This is just a heads up, nothing negative, just as a heads up. So listen in, that when people do support this channel through PayPal, which you can say is better only because of the percentage cut being lower, so the person you're giving to receives more than like a side thing, which would be PayPal. Do you know when you get those little transaction fees or the percentage cut off? When it comes to YouTube, the creator gets so much, YouTube gets, was it 30 or 40% or something? It sounds a bit silly. So like, you know, in terms of a person wanting to support someone, they give because they want to, they're being very kind and all that, but they want that money directly to go to the person they're giving it to. But if they find out that some of it's going elsewhere, that's not good. So PayPal is the way to go. Just in case you were wondering, PayPal's like a 2 to 4% cut, which is a lot better than YouTube, which is 30 to 40%. They're true statistics in case you're wondering. But nevertheless, those that have supported the channel, you know, in the background, very good of them, such as credit to Horizon, very good individual. Shout out to Horizon. But it's like with, I can't always give direct shout outs because of, you know, respecting people's privacy. People might be on YouTube, watch my videos with a certain username or profile picture, and then in the background, they may do it on PayPal, but they might have their real name and stuff. And they might not want to be credited publicly because it would reveal their identity. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit of a balancing act. So as a heads up, if I don't give a direct shout out to people, it's because I don't want to reveal your name publicly, you know, out of respect for privacy. Now, some people might not care at all, but I don't know in the moment. That's why I'll say, shout out to this individual. You know who you are. Credit to that person in the background. If I know who is who, they might have a real name shown on PayPal, but I do know their username on YouTube. I'll mention their YouTube username instead, just to keep it private and, you know, privacy reasons, because it is quite sensitive, all that. And if people are being kind and supporting or doing anything like that, how you respond, it's important to respond back and to acknowledge people's support, but it's balancing it out with how you address them, how you acknowledge them publicly, because sometimes not everybody wants to be acknowledged publicly. So, you know, credit to everyone that has supported the channel and in the past and maybe in the future as well. Just wanted to give a heads up right now so people understand what's going on, okay? Let's move on. T says, not trying to be disrespectful, but if everyone just steps back, nothing will be done. Proof is in the first few months after the loss of Noah, it took the community and social media advocating to get the case out there. Sad reality is the case was just going to be unsolved like so many others that way. Why does everyone all of a sudden want to go silent? Let's remember this is about Noah. And Rachel says to Justin Roy, according to Scotters, it is Indian land, but the victim is not native, so the case would fall under the state's jurisdiction. So I don't know how true that is, but it's good of Rachel to respond back to Justin Roy's comment. And it's ironic how it's the last comment. It's the latest one, latest response. But, you know, out of all the trouble it's caused up here and other people speaking out for the first time, private investigator claims of Kathy Bingham being corrupt, dodgy con artist, 8K being given, Robyn Smith responding back saying, you know, you can have a refund if you want, if you feel, you know, we're being ungrateful and this and that, tension there. And then at the end of it, Rachel responds back to Justin's original comment. Wow. After all that. And that was just one thread out of all these comments, right? So we don't need to get into it too much because I'm aware of timing, but let's just see some of the comments in between. Jessica, I know somebody that lives in Oklahoma and his parents threw him a graduation party with underage drinking. Somebody was in a car accident after leaving the party and passed away, and the parents were charged and did almost 10 years in prison. That girl should have been the first person arrested. Wow. What else? Tiffany, they knew what happened to the person, whereas with Noah, they don't have a manner of death yet. And like Ashley stated, with a good lawyer, the host would at best end up on probation, and the only time they would spend in jail would be sitting there whilst bond bail paperwork's being filed out. So best a few hours. It would be unlikely they saw jail or prison cell. Right. 10 years sounds about right. Some people or families would expect more, never accepting an it's done type conclusion. No such thing as a slap on the wrist for such outcomes. But is it because the actual cause of death is unknown with Noah Presgrove that if the social hosting laws were broken and you were charged for that, the punishment wouldn't be anywhere near as strict as it would be because the cause of death hadn't been found yet? So, if Noah Presgrove's cause of death was now revealed and it was foul play and seen as murder, some kind of homicide, premeditated or not, if then the social host rules were brought in and that they were claimed to be broken and the party girl, the host, Avery, was, seen guilty there, and with the cause of death being found out as foul play, would it be linked together then, and would the sentencing be a lot more harsher? Would it be? Because if so, then okay. But because the cause of death hasn't been revealed and it's just like a mystery at the moment, even if some people say it's obvious as to what's happened, officially it's not been revealed or explained. So I guess the social hosting laws and rules being broke isn't as serious or treated as serious because it's not directly correlated to the death of Noah due to the cause of death being unknown. But if individually, without a death, just simply breaking the social hosting rules, distributing alcohol to underage people, normally how long would you serve if you were guilty of that? Because, individual charges can have the certain lengths of time. As for Ashley, she's saying that it wouldn't lead to much at the end. Interesting. Okay, yeah, depends. Yeah, so that's just like background talk. Click that off. Do we have anything else of interest? Most people agree and are positive. I'm so far to go through all this. So much posting information. I'm no different than others on here. We're all hoping for information and news about the case. Sunny says, thank you so much for keeping us. It's so greatly appreciated. It's very, very interesting this, how the majority of people are positive and understand Ashley, yet my video could be interpreted as negative. Hopefully it's not truly, because I'm looking at it from both sides. If I do get attacked, if this video does get attacked, just know I will be defending myself and there will be a psychology lesson coming up if humans fail to understand my coverage. I'm predicting ahead as to what could happen. So I've got a plan in place if it does. But, most comments positive understanding, it was just the bit about Justin Roy's comment thread where things really started kicking off and heating up. But what happened after this supposed fallout or conflict? Well, Justin Roy has said he was suspended from this page. Let's head on over to his side of the story on Presgrove's Army page. We have transitioned onto the point of view by Vanessa Salazar, who's commented on Justin Roy recently. This being Noah Presgrove's Army page. There are some interesting comments down below, responses which we'll get to. Just wanted to mention as a possible heads up, with this news since coming about and it being quite tense, new posts are popping up as well. Maybe we'll get to that in part 2. I'm considering doing a second part of this video where we take a closer look at the petition and the ones that support it. I think it would be quite interesting, okay? So be on the lookout for that, but let's just focus here. Vanessa says, I'd like to make this post of appreciation to Justin Roy. Thank you for this page. Thank you for everything you have done and continue to do for Noah. You have never stopped asking the right questions and trying to seek justice. Anybody that does not see that is blind and perhaps not focusing on what needs to be the main focus, which is justice. Taking those individuals who took his young life and holding them accountable. I myself this Labour Day will light up a white candle in his name and say a prayer. I won't just live life and ignore the anniversary of the tragedy. I also want to say, Justin, you have loved Noah like a family member. Blood doesn't define family. Yep. So let's see the comments now. What do we have here? Vanessa, unfortunately, some do not appreciate Justin Roy, and I won't stand for that. This man has helped a lot and continues to do so. What he needs is someone to weed out the bad seeds on here who run to the other groups and bash in private. Interesting. What else do we have? I, for one, the page brought worldwide awareness. I agree with your comment. Me too. You'll see a crossover with some people from the Presgrove Army page who are also part of the Justice page. So it would be unfortunate if it ever came to a point where you've got spies and informants in between. We saw it extensively with the Dylan Rounds case, and it is disappointing to see. Will that happen here? Who knows? Shannon says that's exactly what he and I discussed. Take back control of the group. Interesting. But I thought a level of control was taken back since making it private, unless more work needs to be done on top. Robyn Bishop Willard, not to be mixed up with Robyn Smith. This is a different Robyn, a non-family member, saying, I'll just say this, I'm 10,000, 100,000% shocked that the family doesn't want charges against the party host. Shaking my head, what's up with that? One member claims the party host would just get a slap on the wrist. Well, maybe that slap on the wrist would save another person's life. I don't think it would. Like, what Ashley Chadwick is getting at, and if it's true, what she says, then I can understand it being pointless. A slap on the wrist, in her mindset, is in jail, in prison, whatever you want to call it, for like an hour, and then released on the same day. What good will that do? Do they learn from their lesson? Absolutely not. Do they get taken away long enough to protect others? Absolutely not. So there's that. Unless people have counterpoints and can say that if the petition went through and if Avery did get in trouble and was found guilty, that she actually spent time in jail or prison. But from Ashley's point of view, that won't be happening. Now, we have heard previous stories of party goers, whether it be Carter or Avery, supposedly maybe speeding or getting in trouble in the past, and a slap on the wrist. That could be a reoccurring pattern, you never know. Let's just see what people have had to say in response. Amy Farmer says to Ian, the same thing happened in the Stephen Smith case. They tried to say it was hit and run. Okay, let's move on. Sherry Divinity says, what bothered me was a comment of Robyn Smith, the aunt, saying there's no police corruption. Really? Wait, are you referring to the comment by Robyn Willard or Robyn Smith? Which Robyn? You're saying that there's no police corruption. Interesting. I think there are some that are closely linked with that family. Stevie's didn't want to tamper with evidence on scene. Question. Sounds dodgy. Vanessa says Jack Newton and Caleb Newton are responsible for Noah's death. Robyn says, exactly, I'd be stepping on hard, and it seems the family aren't, or some of which aren't. Donna Bond makes an appearance saying, because an OHP trooper and Oklahoma Highway Patrol investigator with Traffic Homicide Division are two completely different departments. What else? Like I said in another post, I think the first 48 refers to hours, not months. Someone has dropped the ball. Donna says, you're entitled to your opinion, but just for curiosity's sake, what makes you think someone dropped the ball? I know of another case in this county, one victim, 6-year-old little boy, his mother, high on methamphetamines, ran him over. The only witnesses to the case were EMS, first responders to City PD. Still took 6 months to get a warrant and then almost 2 years in court to get a conviction. And one more question, in your professional opinion, how long would a case like this take? If he's taking the facts, it wasn't law enforcement, there's a part of that family that was on scene. It was the family with the terrible volunteer fire department. Right, moving on. Caroline, I've said it from the beginning that I wish Justin Roy could be the lead investigator in this case. Thank you for all you do. Michelle, I agree, it's because of you and Noah's Army page that I've become aware of Noah, and now he feels like a distant family member. There's got to be more comments to that though. Top comments, where's all the comments gone? All comments? Previous ones, oh there we go. See, this is what I mean, if you don't do all of them, you won't get them immediately. It's kind of annoying, I'll be honest with you. Right. I too want to thank you. Okay, unfortunately some do not appreciate. Where's Justin at? Oh, there's Justin. Oh, is that a screenshot of Justin's comment which got deleted when responding to Robyn Smith? Let's see. Replies to Robyn, throwing shit on the wall? Ah, right, yeah. So Robyn Smith quoted, or well, maybe re-quoted Justin in the past, throwing stuff at the wall, and Justin's replying now, re-quoting that, what Robyn said, and I didn't see that before, so maybe it has been deleted since. Justin says, like the 3 PLS, what does that mean? Please? Or you mean PIs? The 3 PIs that y'all claimed then got mad at me for reposting what you said, or that the FBI was involved that you posted about, or the dove hunt that actually happened that weekend. Not sure what else you think I just made up, but remember, when this all started, nobody had any updates or any information. Ellie didn't give out any information for months, so we had partygoers information, and that's about it. Everything else was opinions, theories based off what these partygoers said, and then the autopsy report came out. Not sure why I get the blame for all the negative stuff that comes out. It seems you are definitely getting bad information, and then instead of asking me about it, you spread it. And I'm not the only one seeing this too. Wow, that's a big turnaround. So Justin Roy calling out Robyn Smith, in which Robyn Smith or certain family members of Noah Presgrove have stated stuff which wasn't exactly true, and they were the ones that said it in the first place, supposedly. 3 private investigators, I think that's what it means, PIS, private investigators, or was that a capital LPLS, 3 please? No, it must be private investigator, that's all I can think of. But the FBI being involved and then later finding out they weren't involved, they were on the sideline. The bit about the dove hunt, what, did Robyn Smith or family members deny it happening? Why would they deny it happening? I know Justin Roy has questioned about the dove hunt with other people and they never answer, which is a bit weird. What's the deal of silence? If it's just a dove hunt and it's before Noah's death, then there's no point in keeping quiet. If someone asks a simple question in a polite way, it should be answered in some way or another, and yet that's not what's happened. So it does make it sound a little bit dodgy, doesn't it? It seems like some people are catching on to Robyn Smith or certain Noah Presgrove family members in a negative way. And at the same time, some comments are supposedly being deleted. Let's just see. Follow up. Tamila says, isn't Robyn a family member? Yeah, the aunt. Vanessa, yes, but they turned on Justin because he questioned. Vanessa, Justin has helped Noah's cousin and aunt a lot, yet Justin should back off and shut up from what they've said or interpreted. Becky, wow, Justin, I haven't been as engaged but still check in. With the amount of people in these groups, it doesn't surprise me how things can get out of control. You've done nothing but try to bring facts and help to Noah's case, to his family. But like with anyone that tries to bring good, it's like a magnet attracts the bad. With you bringing attention to those who don't want it, you become a target. I'm sure Noah appreciates your efforts. So does the army. So is the FBI involved or not? No, they're on the sideline. And Ashley Chadwick has confirmed that in recent time. I first heard about it being said incorrectly on a podcast, it being referenced, and then it was cleared up later. But from what Justin Roy is getting at here, supposedly, is someone like Robyn or certain family members said it in the first place, which was wrong. Interesting. Justin Roy says, I'm literally shocked, not exactly sure what's going on here. They've went on podcast and asked thousands of people for help, then slapped the people that have helped them. Even had a lady donate 7.5k and she was told to shut up. Go read the comments, they're still there as I've gotten suspended. I'm definitely missing something here. I have never let out any vital information, not one time. For months we had to go off opinion and theories from the testimony of the partygoers, so that information came from them. Really, if we're talking about insider information, it appears to be that YouTube channel, and I can't even remember their name. They've been talking about revealing information about what's gone on. I said I can't even remember the name of the channel, but they disabled the comment section, which is interesting. I suppose no one's going after that YouTube channel if it's revealing insider information when all Justin Roy's done, at least to my knowledge and what I've seen, just ask questions. There's a big difference, isn't there? But what I don't get is now Justin Roy is saying that a lady who we saw earlier on revealing their identity has donated $7.5K, $7,500. But she said she donated $8,000. Robyn showed a receipt from GoFundMe of $5,000. Robyn showed a screenshot of a conversation with Justin Roy in the past where Justin Roy said $6,000. I mean, why are the figures so all over the place? It's either 8,000 or something else, which differs up and down. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. It's a bit weird, the numbers changing. If you gave a specific amount, then it shouldn't change, but it has from how it's been worded by people. Anyway, let's see. Kimberly, I'm so confused. Hang in there. Well said, Becky. Where are you referring to? The Justice for Noah page? You've been suspended? Good Lord. It seems the emotional damage Noah's death has caused is catching up to his family and some of others. You think that maybe certain family members are taking it out incorrectly on other people just because of it getting to the anniversary and maybe the dust settles later? You never know. We'll see. Time will tell. I don't understand why you got suspended. You know, I reached out to you when I got suspended and you kindly replied to reach out to her. I couldn't understand why my comment couldn't be deleted. I appreciate you organising this group. Right, so Katie Brown is saying she got suspended as well on the family run page too. Interesting. Justin Roy shows another comment, I think, which may have got deleted. What's this about? Comment, getting bad information and instead of asking me about it, you spread it. You seriously tried to blame me for the Trav guy as well. Robyn, that's ridiculous. Then you tell my wife a straight up lie. That's not true at all. I did not tell anyone about that specific deal you told her, and I didn't even tell my wife, which made her more mad at me. Thanks for that. So honestly, what's really going on here? So what? The aunt of Noah Presgrove, Robyn Smith, is going behind Justin Roy's back, going behind Justin Roy to the wife, and also blaming the Trav guy on Justin. What the hell's going on? You know, this has just happened all in a matter of a day or so. Crazy. Vanessa, sadly, some people are ungrateful. I'm sure many will side with them because it's their family, but to me, family isn't defined by blood. You've acted as if Noah was a second son to you. I mean, yeah, that's the thing, the family, but are we talking about the overall family, or are we talking about the, immediate family? Okay, because the talk is about Ashley and Robyn at the moment, but what does the likes of Dalen, the brother, think? Or was it Madison Rawlings, the sister of Noah? What do they think of this situation? It sounds to be getting very messy. What else? Katie, okay, everyone, take it easy on me, but to me, without this group, Noah's story wouldn't have made it around the world. Personally, I think Noah's family needs to be fighting harder for Noah than they have been. Wow. So Katie believes that Noah Presgrove's family haven't done enough. Okay. Like I've said, if this would have been my child, I would have my family member camping out at authorities' office till we get answers, wanting answers and not letting them continue with the case cover up. Wow. So it sounds like, in a way, indirectly, the Presgrove Army page is kind of at war with certain family members of the Justice page. Not something you want to see, especially this late on. It's probably a good thing that Warlight Ref is present on YouTube for that stability up to a point. And I am fully aware that there is some questionable people commenting on my videos, but it's very simple. Naughty behaviour for prolonged periods will lead to the doctor's office, the door opening once again, as simple as. What does Justin Royce say here to Rhonda? So I got blamed for repeating the family had 3 private investigators on the case, yet It's posted right here back in May, and it's on 2 podcasts from Ashley. Let's see this. Dalen Keith Presgrove is with Robyn Smith and Deborah Smith. GoFundMe update. I can't thank you enough for the overwhelming support. Very easy to see light through all the darkness from the aid you have all brought. The funds designated for a private investigator is at almost $12,000. Because of this, we have gotten 2 additional private investigators, making a total of 3. The funds designated for the reward money is now at $2,600, added to the original $5,000, making it a total of $7,600. Again, this total is not including the amount directly deposited in the bank account. If you'd like to donate any money towards this is attached, or you can deposit directly at First Bank and Trust Co. with Robyn Smith and Deborah Smith. So who actually posted this? Because it says Dalen Presgrove. It mentions Robyn Smith, the Ann, and Deborah Smith. Out of those 3 individuals, who actually typed this up? From what Justin says here, just in general, that the family were blaming Justin for misinformation, yet all Justin did was relay on information created by the family in the first place to do with the 3 private investigators, and it's proof there's a receipt. It's not looking good, this. Is a goldfish mentality coming on in with certain humans? Who knows? And Justin Roy says 17 hours ago, of course they deleted it. What did they delete though? Because I did see your comments on the page, but some of them I did not see. So maybe some got deleted. Please repost one time. Throwing at the wall. Yeah, we saw that before. So that comment was deleted. That one was deleted, what we've seen before. So I defended myself and got suspended. This is from Justin's point of view. When he goes onto the page, your profile is suspended from this group of 32,000 members and counting. So to get suspended sounds pretty serious, doesn't it? But are people like moderators, family members, admins more likely to suspend Justin Roy of all people because in the past they supposedly had trouble with him by saying, can you step down or step back? And they thought, you know what, we'll just have to suspend him outright because we can't control him. Is that their mindset behind it? Vanessa, so unfair. Sherry, horrible. You don't deserve the treatment. You're a strong rock for Noah, only wanting answers and justice. Shannon Scott, I'm not surprised. Some of them have bashed me and even accused me of being on the other side. Ridiculous. It's time that answers are needed about the GoFundMe accounts. Almost $16,000 was raised with the intentions of hiring respectable private investigators, but yet here we are months later and still no private investigator. And I'm not talking about the person that has been the one behind a lot of the BS stories and information. Which private investigator is that? Are you saying Kathy Bingham? Is that what you mean? What's the reward money up to? Why is no one plastering this everywhere? I feel so bad for his grandma. I cannot wait for the day she gets justice for sweet Noah. Some people in this world are so ungrateful. Let's see what else. Sherry, I just saw the comments over there. That is disgusting treatment. And Ashley Chadwick literally said, if you have any questions, post below, which is all you were doing. Why don't they want people pushing for justice and truth? I don't get it. So when will the wave of suspicion, skepticism and theories come on in that the family or certain family members are delaying things or not pushing certain stuff forwards because secretly they don't want justice for Noah? And that's not coming from me, but that's just a general concept of how humans can start thinking. Elsewhere, I saw it in the Dylan Rounds case. The moment the likes of Candice Cooley supposedly said, hey everyone, can you please stop searching? The police need to take over now. And that people thought it was a big FU being pushed away after the family reached out for help in the first place. So then certain people started thinking, well, if you're going to start relying on the police now, who are the dodgy ones in the first place, but you're relying on that over the general public, is it because you secretly don't want it to be solved? Are you in on the death of your own son? That's what people were stating. Not me, but what others at the time. And it got really messy. What do we have here, though? Yeah, we saw all that, basically. To be honest, it probably would have been a lot clearer if we just did that from the start, but yeah, anyway, Vanessa. Yeah, saying Justin isn't family. Excuse me, he has been more than a family to Noah. And what someone else said, you are a distant family, not even close. Some can get mad at me, but it's true. Justin helped set up the donation stuff and always tries to help. And they said they had 3 private investigators after receiving the donations, but now there's only 1, but nothing is for sure. Is that one PI Kathy Bingham? Is that what they're referring to? Noah Presgrove's offence, but where's the money for the PI? And she stated questions were welcomed and guess not from Justin. Also talk about family, poor Noah's grandma. I'm sure she was very hurt. Katie says, I was suspended also for replying to a comment. Yes, I could have worded a part of my comment in a better way, but even if I did, people don't want to upset Holding and all the details of what happened to Noah could cause serious mental illness on these young people in no way that we showed on anyone. Great points. I think, but then I'm sure I saw a wave of people being skeptical of Vanessa Salazar. I can't remember where that came from, but I did see some skepticism there. Who knows? Who knows? Like, all I'm going to say in general, with any case in general, and from my encounters in the past, people can come along, act normal, but then change with time. Almost like some kind of genetic mutation within. Who knows why? Sometimes it's obvious triggering factor and other times it's unknown of. I've come across a range of people that appear like they're experts or the way they present themselves, and then down the line they slip up and it all goes downhill. So you've always got to be cautious of humans in general. What else do we have here? Just positive comments. Vanessa says, I was blocked from the page for saying he's a good Christian man, and they deleted that comment too. So Katie, Vanessa, Justin Roy being silenced, supposedly. Doesn't sound good when you look at it on the surface level. I mean, will certain family members ever respond back with alternative receipts? I mean, all I would say is, in terms of the not supposedly acknowledging the female that gave the supposed $8,000 in the first place, I can understand why the likes of Robyn or Ashley would be limited there because the donation was anonymous. You can't really give a direct shout out or a form of appreciation because you don't know who to thank if no name's been given. So I understand that part from the family, but as for everything else, who knows? What else? I would never have known about Noah had it not been for you. Robyn, the other Robyn, says, I'll just say this. I'm sure the family... Yeah, we saw that. Right. You might see some repeats, but that's only because I had to adjust the comments to the latest because some were missing. Lauren, God sees you in your heart. Yeah. What's mentioned here? Just want truth and justice, that's it. I really am lost with all of this, though. I've been feeling the same way lately, seeing all the true evidence, but not a single thing being done. No comment from the LE, RHP, or truly on the case. I feel it's going to get swept, and it's sad. Alex Romando, we've seen this person before. Can we all just get along? Thought some humour would do right about now. I have handcuffs too. What's this turning into? So do I. What the hell? Anyway, so sorry, Justin. I feel you've been nothing but authentic and dedicated to get justice for now. I'm sure the family doesn't know to navigate the process of dealing with the situation. What, do you think they might be taking out the wrong people, possibly? Justin got blocked from commenting when he asked about money for a PI, just saying. Also saying no to holding Stevie very accountable for serving liquor to underage kids just baffles me. Just my 2 cents. Wait, what's this? Holding Stevie Howard accountable for serving the alcohol. What? Stevie Howard wasn't at the party. Avery Combs was. And you could say somehow the parents are responsible for the decisions made by their kids. But at the end of the day, being realistic, a portion of the party goers were of adult age. Maybe not of the correct age to be drinking, but of adult age, 18 onwards. More specifically, Avery Combs, 22 years old at the time, old enough to drink, adult age, should know better, should have a form of responsibility over themselves and the people around. They might not be a parent themselves, but they're of a suitable age to be cautious and responsible, and that's like him. Shannon Sullivan says, I'll stop you there, and I'm not sticking up for Stevie Howard, but it wasn't her house. It was still in her sister's and brother-in-law's name, so they can be charged as well as Avery Combs. By it was Avery Combs, Carter Combs, and Logan Jernigan, LJ, that lived there, never owned by Stevie Howard. The reason I mention Stevie Howard is because Avery Combs is a daughter and she bought liquor to underage teenagers, not to mention she was trying to blame Noah for being drunk. She bought liquor. Who? Stevie Howard or the daughter? Because from what Caden Pressey said, Caden Pressey, I think it was the mini mart he attended on one of the days. No day was actually given as to Saturday, Sunday or Friday, whichever way round. But Caden Pressey said on Facebook that he, some others, Avery Combs, were there present, and it was Avery Combs buying the alcohol. Caden Pressey witnessed and saw it. And Shannon Sullivan says, Avery Combs is the one who bought the alcohol. Yes, not to mention other kids brought it. Not to mention other kids brought alcohol. But who were they? Which people brought alcohol themselves? I mean, can I just say something very quick? If they had the party and Avery Combs did not buy any alcohol and herself she didn't distribute any alcohol in that scenario, but on the basis that other kids, other partygoers brought their own alcohol and sneaked it in, would Avery Combs still get in trouble for that? Because at the end of the day, you can't control everything. If you were the party boy, party girl, and the host of the party, and you've made sure there's absolutely no alcohol, and yet partygoers, those that have been invited, sneak alcohol in, would you get in trouble for that? Would you need to implement some kind of bloody venue, event, stadium, concert type tracking thing, almost like a metal detector, but not literally, of a bodyguard patting down everybody, searching them? Do you have alcohol on you? Do you have a bottle? I mean, how lenient does it get? Or does the host just get blamed outright, even if there is alcohol present, but the person didn't buy or supply it? Does anyone know? Not that it's in this case, but I was just thinking in general. Vanessa says, perhaps you're right, but how she mocks and makes fun of Noah is sickening. I remember Vanessa said that Stevie Howard was mocking things such as Vanessa's post about God or something. Kind of random, kind of irrelevant to the case, but I guess it highlights that once you get on a certain radar, Stevie Howard may track you down in a way online. Not literally track you down, but just like follow, observe in the background. As said, I don't know the percentage of dodgy people that secretly watch my videos, but who knows. Shannon Sullivan said, I agree 100%, but Avery Combs planned the party. Yes, social media. Now, do we have any original social media post by Avery Combs planning it, advertising it? Does anyone have any screenshots of that? Would be interesting. Bought some of the alcohol, hosted the party. She was responsible for Noah's death, even if she didn't do anything. At what point does it not become a part of her responsibility for Noah's death? If Noah Presgrove ended up making it back home safely and he died for some reason, health-related issue, but not to do with alcohol, does Avery still get the blame? If in a completely different scenario that it was proved that it was a hit and run, not that it is, but in a different scenario, and it was by a random stranger who was a bit cowardly and drove off, would Avery still get the blame? Is it the alcohol factor of making Noah vulnerable so then Noah isn't able to protect or defend himself? I know another way of putting it, which would probably be a bit more appropriate, if everybody at the party was of the correct age to drink, or if everybody at the party did not drink because people were underage, etc., either scenario, would people be pinning the blame on Avery Combs then? I'm just interested. I'd say alcohol is problematic in general within this case. It can make some vulnerable, it can make others possibly aggressive. Now, in a situation, not that it did happen, but I always like to give alternatives. If Avery Combs did not buy or distribute alcohol, but other partygoers brought their own and maybe sneaked it in, hid it in a secretive way, and that's what still was somewhat responsible for the death of Noah, would the social hosting laws be broken and would Avery get in trouble for other people's actions of bringing alcohol when Avery may have not been aware? I hope humans don't misunderstand me. This is a long video, so there's more chances that humans will drop off in attention and think I've said something wrong, but I can guarantee you I've said nothing wrong up to now. I've used specific language and wording, and there'll be witnesses present to reinforce that. We got a person called Christy with a K. Absolutely, I was drawn to know his story because my husband was travelling to Bowie last Labour Day, as we do monthly. I was not with him, but he called me saying he had been deterred knowing because of Noah. Right, yeah. How do you say that name? St. John. I'm so sorry you were treated like that. I noticed months ago that they were making little sly digs at you. This page is what keeps Noah's story out there. I don't even bother going into the group of the family often because there is never anything new posted. I hope you and your family are able to find comfort in the next coming days. Interesting. I think that might be it there for all the comments. Not looking too good, is it? All in all, there's been a lot that's gone on recently. Not just the backlash from certain family members of the petition. That's something we need to catch up with part 2 next time round. But also the Justin Royce situation. Some of the people's situations of being either blocked, silenced, or temporarily removed, suspended, whatnot. Then great deals amount of money being donated in the background and messy situations with like that, possible refunds to private investigators, misinformation which came from here but actually came from there, and others getting the blame for it. What an absolute mess. And what, has it always been like this? Or in the background? From what Ashley Chadwick said earlier on in this video, what we looked at, actually, I don't know if she mentioned it in the video that I presented to you, but in the full video by her, or no, it wasn't in the video by her. It was actually, was it by Robyn Smith or Ashley on Facebook, what we saw earlier, where they said, you know, a lot of hell and chaos has happened in the background. That sounds a little bit dodgy itself. I mean, I don't know. It's the only good thing is it's over on a different platform. If it was here, that would be very unfortunate. And you might think, well, it's still bad wherever it happens. Yeah, it's bad, but at least there's some breathing room in between. And if anyone questions me or for that, just now I've got extensive experience when dealing with messy situations because the Dylan Rounds case was all problematic on YouTube as a platform and different people about. It was the Facebook page which was better off, cleaner, better atmosphere in a way. It was all on YouTube. This time it's complete flip side opposite. And with the private investigator as well. It's so weird. You got a 19-year-old, possible true crime case, truth being dragged out, people not quite coming forwards, dodgy Ellie and how they handle stuff, mishandling of evidence, wasted opportunities, certain evidence tampered with, private investigator. It feels like a Dylan Rounds case 2.0. Same age individual, same like skin colour, rural area, different state, but you know what I'm saying? It feels like a repeat of it all, but with a different story. The only problematic thing this time around, which you could say is worse than the Dylan Rounds case, is that it seems like there's trouble going on with certain family members and conflict with those in other pages and admins, that cooperation or that communication breaking down. I mean, to me, because I've only seen it for the first time around, it seems like this has only happened just now, but if it's been bubbling away with time, and now it's come to light. Who knows? But, you know, there's a lot to take in, isn't there? I know this is a long video, but there was a lot to look at. There'll be a part 2 coming up soon, so be on the lookout for that. I couldn't fit it into this one, so hopefully you understand. But thanks for watching. If you do want to share or like the video, feel free to do so. Be appreciated. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Good night for now.